Welcome to the Modern Homes Podcast with Rob Clemens.
Frank Dominic.
And he's Frank Dominic. Still Frank Dominic, even after last week.
Last time I checked.
Anyway, hey Frank, today I'm drinking a little coffee concoction.
Nice.
And let me tell you, you don't have to go to Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts anymore, although I do love those places. This is right out of the Keurig, and it's a little latte action. So I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be drinking this while we're talking about homes.
I'm a drip coffee guy, but I'll take a Starbucks endorsement for the show. If we
right.
can get that.
Well, yes, if
100%.
Starbucks, give us a call. Even the local Starbucks, I'm with you all. If you had to drink a coffee right now, what are you going for? Because and keeping in mind, we're coming up on the winter time. So what's your coffee go-to?
Just coffee with cream and sugar.
Just coffee with cream, like 2 creams, 2 sugars?
Yeah. I can do a black coffee too.
Well, I asked that because...
If it's a good solid Colombian, I can do a black.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well,
mild coffee.
My dad growing up, he always told me, Rob, you're going to love coffee one day, but you got to drink it black. That's how you're going to like it best. And to this day...
You drink it black?
No, I do not.
Wow.
If I'm drinking black coffee, I'm in a hurry. You know what I mean? It's like you go to the place, they're like, what do you want? Just give me a black coffee. I got to get out of here. That's kind of it. You can tell how busy I am based on my coffee.
I would have swore you'd have been a straight coffee guy.
Yeah, like I'm like in here like writing up things on the board. All right, guys, I'm knocking back coffee left and right.
No, I figured when you took a coffee, it was black.
No, there was
cream
actually
and sugar?
Quite the opposite. There was a while where if I'm drinking a coffee, it looks more like a milkshake. There's like a couple of French vanilla, a little bit of sugar, a little sweetener. You know what I mean? And a splash of coffee.
We got a little frothing going on.
I got my frother out. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, believe it or not, folks, this is the Modern Homes Podcast of Rob Clemens. Yeah, I might as well call this the coffee hour with. But anyway,
coffee talk.
Yeah, coffee talk. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. You remember that
for Klimt?
Yeah.
Please.
Explain to me.
Good stuff.
All right. Anybody who watched Saturday Night Live back in 90, I guess, or something?
90s, yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, guys, welcome to the show. We are going to talk a little bit about outdoor living today. We're going to talk about home improvements. We've been spending some time in recent weeks talking about everything from real estate to home building. But I feel like it's high time to talk about one of the most popular things in America to do, which is you update your home. People update their homes, every 7-8 years, something like that on average?
Yeah, it's a callback to a previous show. You had mentioned we were talking about bang for buck for improvements. We started with the kitchen. We did an ensuite master bedroom.
That's right.
And then you said the other thing, which regionally we do, is your outdoor living space.
Well, outdoor living, yeah, it's really big here. And if you're in other parts of the country listening to the show, I mean, I'd love to hear what they're doing all over the country. What are they doing in Minnesota? I mean, what do you think the home improvement in Minnesota is?
I think it's a high-end kitchen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
fireplace.
High-end kitchen. I got you. Well, okay. So let me go back to your stomping grounds up in the Northeast where you lived. What was like the most popular home improvement up there?
Actually, kitchen and pools.
Pools.
Yeah. Even though it's a short season, a lot of pools up there.
Are you one of those people who move down and when you get in a pool down here, you're like, oh, it's too warm. You got to throw ice in it. My father-in-law did that.
Is he?
He'd go get bags of ice and throw it in his pool. Oh, it's too hot. It's too hot in here. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I just think he likes to show how tough he is. Right, all kinds. So, well, anyway, very cool. Well,
he was a precursor to the cold plunge everybody's doing that?
It may be. He might have been just a front of the... Have you done a cold plunge, by the way? No? I think cold plunges, I want to try one, but I have a feeling they're overrated. I don't know why. I just think they're overrated.
I don't see... Yeah, no.
It's like, just get really, really cold. And then all
not a trend follower.
Yeah.
Not hard-pressed.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Well, so Frank, a little bit about current things going on. We've just coming off of the Cannes. The Cannes did the meatball challenge. So they had people from all over the area coming in.
How was that, by the way?
It was pretty good, man. I got to tell you, they had some great meatballs there.
Who was the winner? Do you know?
I didn't catch it, because I was too busy. I was at the Carolina Bays booth the whole time, but I was eating them, and I'm going to tell you, shout out to HGTC, the Horry Georgetown Technical College. They have a culinary institute over there, and I hear great things coming out of them all the time.
But you now know for sure from tasting it.
Hey, listen, really I know this much. On those meatballs, they got down. I'm going to tell you, they got down, man. They had a little meatball and a little bit of mashed potatoes. And if you stuck about 10 or 15 in front of me right now, I'm going for it. They were that good.
I'm going for it, too.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Then we had a trunk or treat a couple weeks ago. Halloween is tomorrow. What are you doing what are you doing for the Halloween?
Giving candy out to the kids.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this challenge.
I like to see what they do, what they drip. I'm into it.
No, I get you. In your neighborhood, are people really setting up things?
Oh, yeah, we have a ton of that.
Yeah.
Front yards filled with giant
Giant ghost and wacky waving inflatable arm too, man.
One guy has one of those skeletons like 12 foot tall. It's
yeah,
huge.
those are expensive too.
Are they?
Those were all
It's
the rage.
big, man.
People are stealing those out of people's yards. They were a big hit there. I've got a neighbor, and they've got the Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's like the whole yard is filled up with the whole story.
Wow.
It's really cool.
Yeah, we got a couple motorcycle guys out there with ghost riders on them. Yeah, it's pretty involved in my neighborhood. Yeah.
The best thing about it is if you have an active neighborhood, it's fun. But in my neighborhood, we'll have like maybe one group of kids come through the whole night.
Oh, wow.
And you have that existential problem, which is, do I get bags and bags of candy, leave the thing on all night, so the one ding dong, trick or treat,
dump them all in.
Yeah, right. I'm always like, hey kid, I got a can of raviolis here. I don't, what am I going to do with that?
Start giving out $5 bills.
Yeah, right. I'm like my grandmother now. Yeah. Here you go, young man.
Here's a quarter.
Here's a quarter, young man.
No, we have a bag of candy ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. You go for the expensive candy or the cheap?
Yeah, it was Hershey's.
Yeah, Hershey's. Okay.
Milky Ways, Three Musketeers. Is that Hershey?
Man, I'm coming to your house, man.
I know, it's got all those in it. Kit Kats, Three Musketeers. What else? The M&Ms. I guess that's Hershey, right?
Not too shabby.
It's a big bag full of them.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, anyway, so happy Halloween to everybody. Hopefully you're getting out, enjoying yourself, and then we're loading up for Thanksgiving.
Come get the candy so I don't eat it.
Yeah. Right, good. Frank's address is across the screen here. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, all right, well, Frank, so let's get into it a little bit. We're going to talk in two sections today. We still got to get some questions in, as always. Sure. Talk a little bit about home improvement. So I've got my list of things that people should be looking at doing at their house right now. It's 2024. Home prices are very high. Interest rates are high, so people don't want to move. So we're going to talk about things that you could be doing to enjoy your home more. Yeah. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, number one on my list, and these aren't really rank ordered, but I'm going to say you need to look at right now home automation. And I'm telling you, I feel like the days, you remember it was an anomaly when people go over to a house and there's a Ring doorbell or whatever.
Or back in the day, the big new thing was a push button code to get
Oh, yeah, those were really fancy.
It was on the car and it was on the door. You're like, oh my gosh.
Definitely. But I feel like if you don't have it, the reason I mentioned this as one of my top tips is your house can appear dated sometimes by very things you've done. And sometimes it can be as simple as another home improvement, which is like switching out light fixtures and door handles. Modernizing your house can go in small steps.
We had a conversation with him about the brass was a thing for a while. That was more of that nickel look. And those things will make you look dated too. You got a big hanging chandelier that's in a brass finish. You're like,
oh boy, here we go.
It's like that gold tone. You're like,
crystals were big. You remember?
Oh, the crystals were huge.
Man, I still, in my old house, I remember we bought this fancy crystal chandelier. It's like, man, I'm like,
oh, it's great. You're like, we're stepping into the future here.
Yeah, right. So anyway, home automation, though, I think this is something everybody needs to look into. The garage doors that can open remotely. The smart thermostats. I know they seem like simple things, but when you walk into a house and you see the old thermostat on the wall, just doesn't float the boat, man. No. You know what I mean? No. The next thing I had on the list is the curbscaping. Now, the reason I'm mentioning curbscaping, and really I'm kind of funneling all landscaping items into this, but the thing is, a well-done landscape can bring you back 3 times the money you spend on it.
I agree with that. Totally.
Well-done landscape. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean go out and you're just planting random stuff wherever. I mean a theme, a actual system, and the curbscapes go along with it because a lot of times you're planting these bushes and stuff, but they have these hardscapes that go around your stuff and with different stampings and stuff. Big thing you should be doing to your house, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have basically porch screening. Now, I'm going to take this in phases. You move to an area and you want to be outdoors. I think you find generationally, older Gen Xers, baby boomers still very, very much into this. And so you got to look at your screening options. This is something that I feel like most of the communities are trying to get down to nowadays. You go to the D.R. Hortons, the Beezers, the Lennars, and we always got to look at what they're doing. But they have these porches with screening in them. I think that's the minimum you need to be doing in 2024. No?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but okay, so then the next level up from that is enclosures. So enclosures, and this is something that, have you seen the 4-track systems?
Yes, I have.
I know you have. I'm kind of leading them in here. So what's a 4-track system? Kind of tell me about the ins and outs of that, and are you seeing that as an active thing with customers?
I see that as an active improvement for the basic screening or the open space that a lot of these homes homes have that overhang where it's an opening and people might just...
Look, here's the thing about the porch enclosures. So when we get into Easy Breeze, and another popular one is custom window systems, people are trying to close their porches in. They're tired of the pollen. You're tired of the rain. You're tired of the cold air.
They also want to extend the season out there.
Extend the season. Well, you know, if you have a screen porch, I can tell you from my experience, it's about a 3-season room, or about a 3-month room out here. 3 months, Frank. Well, why? You know, it's raining sometimes. Sometimes it's too hot. Sometimes it's too cold. Pollen season, wipe it out for like a month and a half. So I started finding, as I'm talking to people, they're like, I love being out here. I'm just tired of cleaning this stuff. So anyway, we go in with something like an Easy Breeze 4-track unit. I definitely recommend those. I think they are a very good bang for your buck.
Good value.
People ask me, can you put a mini split in with those? Mini split being a small separate HVAC system, different item for a different show. But the answer is, I think you can. I mean, I think it's not going to perform as efficiently as it would in a glass room, but nevertheless, good way to go.
Even in a glass room, it's touch and go.
So that's the question I usually get. Why not do a glass enclosure then? Why are we doing Easy Breeze at all?
Cost.
Yeah, cost, right? There's in any home improvement, Frank, there's form, there's function, and there's cost. Form is the way it looks. Function is what it's doing and how it holds up, and cost is the cost.
Like we said on a previous show, ICF is a fantastic option until you see the price. Still an option for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But for a very small market.
Well, so and
comparatively.
Very much so. I kind of look at any good remodeling starts off with understanding why are we doing this, and this is my tip to all salespeople. Whenever you're selling anything, you're really not selling in the sense of, hey, I'm trying to convince you to do something. You're just asking questions. Hey, what do you use your room for? Why do you use your room?
You should be trying to solve the problem.
Yeah, solve the problem. So
if there's not a problem, you don't really have a sale.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm looking at Easy Breeze 4-track unit, and I'm saying I can solve your problem for a third of the price, or at least half of the price of what the glass is. So what are you trying to do? Then again, if you tell me you're trying to do a another living room, well then obviously we need to move to some glass options. So anyway, good stuff. Making sense. Next thing I had on the list, kitchen remodeling. Where do you stand on this? What are your thoughts?
I agree. Biggest bang for the buck, other than your enclosure if you have a modern home.
Well, so
for sure.
And the reason I think this is important for you to answer is you're a realtor. You're going into houses. You're seeing houses all the time. How much value do you see going into the kitchen? In the sense of you walk through a home, beautiful kitchen, versus you walk in a home and it's a dated kitchen. How is that affecting the home?
Typically, the buyer is immediately turned off by the home with a dated kitchen.
Not even saving it. You can't save it, right?
No.
Yeah, so
it really depends. Like now, there's that rare occasion of somebody coming from a northern area that has an older style home. That's what they're familiar with, or that's what they always wanted. Then it rings a bell with them. But typically they want an open concept. They want light colors. They want neutral colors. And they want an open gathering area, because modern times, the formal dining rooms are almost a thing of the past anymore.
And it's funny, man, because that's very true. People aren't doing the formal stuff. In fact, if you go back to the homes of the older times, they were more colonial in style. So there were a lot of long hallways where you'd split off to all the bedrooms.
A lot of small rooms.
Yeah. And at some point they got into the point where they realized, well, what's not in a hallway? Typically windows, which bring in light, which makes cheerful homes. So that would be one of my list of things. Look at the humble Solitude. There's a product called Solitude. Velux Sun Tunnel makes one. These are ways to bring extra light into your house. If you already built your house and you didn't get all those windows, like I told you in a custom home consultation, I'm always looking at where can I put some extra windows
as possible.
Exactly. But your house is built, you're already living in it. You're not going to go and demo the whole house to put windows in, right? So you can put in the humble Solitude or Velux Sun Tunnel. They're the ones with the little domes on the roof. And look, my company, I don't even do them, but I do have people that look at that product, and I have some great basically friendly vendors that I work with.
Referral network.
Yeah, definitely that can do that. So definitely a good thing. Kitchen remodeling, I think that's huge. And looking at the 2-level kitchen countertop is going away.
You don't see them at all.
You just don't see them. The Modern Homes aren't Modern Homes podcast fans are not putting those in.
You're getting long islands, functional. There's a 3 to 4 stools can be fit under them. You're also seeing you'll see a separate. Sometimes you'll see a large sink and then you'll see a separate area with maybe a double oven. That's getting popular.
Yeah, double ovens, man. You know, I always find it funny when you run into these people who they're like, I need a double oven, I need the propane range, I need this, I need that. And you're like, oh, so you guys are big cooks? Not really.
Not really.
And you're going, okay.
Well, I've said this before, and it's controversial, but it's just about true. Think about this, listeners. The nicer the kitchen, the less they cook.
Oh, well, okay. That could be. It's true in general, but then once in a while, though.
Once in a while, you got somebody who can throw it down.
You got somebody who can throw it down.
I'm not saying a horrible kitchen, but if you go gourmet, top of the line, Sub-Zero, Gen Air, typically those people are not cooking.
Man,
it fits the neighborhood. They're in a higher end
Let me
neighborhood.
tell you something, though. I had this couple from New Jersey about 10 years ago, and they were some of the nicest people ever. I'm not going to say their names, but I really love these people. And we were building their house, and she was the first person that I ever had tell me, I don't want this two-level thing. I don't want any of that. I want a giant area so I can serve all my friends and family when they come over.
Nice.
She's cooking the Italian food, and she's going, I just want it very warm and open. First time we did it in a home, and then now you look at the trend. Now you can't find a home without it. So well done. You know who you are out there. All right, last one, bathroom remodeling. This one
master bath
is major. Well, master bath in particular, all of them important, but that master bath is so critical.
So important.
You walk into a home, and I feel like a lot of people have failed at that point. They get in, and they're like, they've maximized everything in the house, and you get in, you got a little fiberglass tub shower or whatever it is. So this is something that we're doing a lot of. You're seeing a lot more taking out the big tub, putting in a giant shower. You feel what I'm laying down there?
Yeah. A lot of the newer homes you see, even by the larger builders, you might see one bathroom with a tub in it. Usually they're all walk-in showers and tiled.
It's just that everybody feels like they need a tub. They feel like they need a tub. And the irony is you're not using that thing. No. So we spent a lot of time looking at it.
My house up north had that big jet tub in the corner. I never used it. Twice, maybe. It took so long to fill it. By the time it was filled, you're like, I'm over it.
Well, and then if you have the jets in it, you're supposed to clean those things. Yeah. You know, you ever get into this thing? We were looking at some a little creature for the aquarium over there in the office. And we go in, and the lady's like, yeah, you need to feed it meat like twice a day. And I swear to God. What? And she said, you're going to have to
go to a butcher shop?
Oh, yeah. Go to a butcher shop, tell them you want the special for my little lobster guy. And we decided we're not going to do it, but this is the way it works, man. You got to, don't put features in your house you can't use. Yeah. I mean, and even if it looks beautiful, make sure you're doing the right thing.
A nice kitchen's going to be used. A gathering area kitchen, it has a gathering point to it. Centered. Very important.
Very important.
Natural light, huge.
Now, my last one that I have on the list, and we kind of hit a couple of quick ones today. Get your outdoor living. We're talking about screen porches, porch enclosures.
Call Carolina Bays.
Call Carolina Bays for that. Obviously, always a show sponsor with us. Room additions, that's a biggie. You know, sometimes you've been living in a home.
Call Carolina Bays for that.
Call Carolina Bays for that too. Well, the thing is, you've been living in this home for a while, and now you just need that little bit of extra space, and so you repurpose, and then you maybe make a nice little.
Like you talked at the beginning of the show, we're heading into. With the higher interest rates, higher home costs, we're heading into that kind of a market.
Multi-generational.
They're going to sit where they are.
Oh, no doubt about it. So the room additions, bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, and my last one is really energy efficiency, but not for the reason you think. Okay.
What's the reason?
Well, the reason. Look, a lot of times we talk about. And I believe this, and we're in a tourist area. People have spent their hard-earned money to live in this area. Energy efficiency is not always about just saving money, which is what you think. It's about the comfort of your house, Frank. And so what happens is people...
Form, function, like you said earlier.
Form and function, right? So you get into this house, and I used to tell people this about solar. There's a point in a day where you're taking so much direct sunlight that your solar panels, you couldn't use all the power. Right. All that power is going back to the grid if you have a grid set up. And the thing is, I would tell people, I'd say, well, then turn that AC on down. Enjoy the nice air conditioning. Yeah. You know, I don't know if about you, but my wife will, you know, I go home and she's like, hey, turn it up. Keep it at 78. We're trying to save money today. I'm like, yeah, but I'm hot as heck, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, also, if you have a set temperature, any HVAC will tell you that's the way to go because it maintains. If you're fluctuating up and down, that's your cost. Right?
Well, you see, and this is the thing. So what if you could enjoy your house a little bit more? What if in your dream home, instead of being worried that, oh man, my energy bills are going to be through the roof this month, you have this beautifully spray foam done in your attic, and you're keeping your attic nice and conditioned, you're keeping your price down. So anyway, well, that's our list of home improvements for today. You ready to get in some questions?
Yep.
All right, let's take a quick break.
Hey, Rob, I got a question for you.
Yeah. What's up? Question time.
A few times we've had discussions about sunrooms with a client, and they want to know They want to put something that's lower cost, and they don't want to do a shingled roof or an actual pitched roof out there. And they talk about those metal roofs, and we talked about how they're not as good of an option.
So I try to use words like good and bad. You know, because what is good, what is bad? I mean, bad suggests that, it's going to fall in the next year. Right. I'd say that the biggest thing with what I would call a SIP panel roof, structural insulated panel, is that it's fairly efficient because it's got aluminum on the top and aluminum on the bottom. And by the way, just to be clear, not all SIP panels are metal. Sometimes they're wood and foam, but in this application you're referring to, it's usually aluminum, foam, and aluminum. And they're structural. You can walk on them. I saw one great ad where they have a Hummer parked on one of those roofs. So structurally, they can be very sound. They have an insulation value already because there's foam in between. And so you'll get 3 inches of foam. It's not going to get you a ton of energy efficiency, maybe like an R15 in that. But still, you're on the right track. Doesn't require shingles, doesn't require vinyl. So if you want to get a very low stress, simple construction done, you put this thing in and it's all done. The biggest knock on it that I hear from the community is it doesn't look like it was part of the house.
Correct.
Right? It looks like you were building that after the fact. And again, do you want that when you're doing an improvement? Some people say, yeah, I do, because this home is for me. I'm going to live here until I die, right? But if you're thinking about, is this going to hurt your home value? I'm not going to say it would hurt it, but it is something that will catch people's eye. It will hurt it with some people.
So structurally, there's no disadvantage?
Well, look, in our area, we're in a high wind zone. Every single thing that we build, we have to get engineered by an actual licensed engineer. He's got a stamp off that's going to hold up the same wind as the rest of the house. So I don't really see it like that. I just think it's that it's the looks and also anything you do, and we can talk about any home improvement, you need to understand the upkeep on it, right? We talked about that earlier. If you've got to go and do upkeep on something every 5-10 years, how does that factor into what you're doing? And so, and I could go deep on that. We'll kind of leave it at that for now. But those roofs, once in a while, you're going to have to reseal them on the top because they don't have shingles. Right. So you're going to have to go up there and put some good sealant down, and you might have to clean it up occasionally. But yeah, it's a great roof. So yeah, all right, good stuff. All right, well, I'm going to throw you a question, kind of in this light. We have certain communities out there that are raising the ante with their pool houses and things like that. Yeah. There are some communities that are even putting in lazy rivers and things like that. How much of a deciding factor should that be in somebody's home purchase?
It depends on your lifestyle.
Okay.
It really does. If you're somebody who's on the go a lot, you're not home much, but you want a creature comfort home, not that important to you. Large family, you're spending a lot of time at home and in the neighborhood, those are important to you. Big community pool, community center, activities.
So it helped. So you would say it would help a home value because of people wanting to live in there? I mean, that's a draw.
I get an even split between the two.
Yeah.
Some people are looking for a non-HOA, non-amenity life.
Right.
Because they don't want the extra cost. And if they want a pool, they'll put it in themselves. Other people like that there's a pool that's included, a lazy river that's included. It really depends on the family buying the home.
You know what I think of when I think of that kind of stuff? I think of the cost of maintenance. And you know what? One thing that happens with these HOA dues is an HOA due, and we're coming up to election time, and we'll kind of keep political affiliations out, but it's just like running a government.
Oh, sure.
There's people spending money, making decisions on what they're going to spend money
Absolutely.
on. So if you have the big lazy river, inevitably the homeowner comes in and goes, the lazy river is good, but we really need to have somebody on guard 24 hours a day. And next thing
we need more children's activities.
We need more children's activities. We need to, recoat the liner. It doesn't look good or whatever it is. And it's like, where does that money come from? Guess what? It comes from your dues.
Yeah, my neighborhood in HOA is exactly what I was looking for. It actually has turned into exactly it makes sure everybody's on top of their landscaping. Trash cans aren't left in the street. People aren't parked all over the street. But the HOA fee to me is still nominal. We have a nice pool. We have a nice community center. And there's enough. I mean, I'm never there because I'm always either working or out playing music with the band. But there's at least something going on once or twice a week. Poker game. They'll do every first Friday. They have all the neighbors get together, make a dish, that kind of stuff. They have a lot of stuff going on.
It's funny, man. Nice. You know what's funny about that to me? It's like
I'm just not one of those guys that joins.
Your personality is indicative of the community that you really enjoy. Because I think of myself, I'm like, I don't need a community pool and all this social stuff. I'm happy to come home and
do your thing
by the end of a long day.
Oh, yeah.
But you get some of these people, and I get it. They've retired. It's been a long career.
That's their life. They get up and hang out with the neighbors. Absolutely.
Shoot, man. I'm I'm up at, there's a popular community up here called Bridgewater in South Carolina. Go check it out if you're ever coming to the area. You know what's
Biggest
big?
poll in South Carolina, I think they said.
That's Water Bridge. I'm talking about Bridgewater.
Bridge.
Yeah, you gotta.
Oh, Bridgewater,
inverse
Little River.
Yes.
That's a very active community.
You know what? One of the most popular activities is up there. I've done a lot of home improvements in that area. You know what the most popular activity is? I shouldn't say the most popular, but it's very popular. Pickleball.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. They have pickleball leagues. People are doing this. And so around the country, everybody's talking about pickleball right now and how you set up your leagues and all this. So that's something to check out. Do you have pickleball in your community there?
We don't. We don't have any of those things.
We have
but I sold a home to the Whitakers, my nice customers, and they have an indoor pickleball court right down the street from their house.
Okay, nice. Well, very good stuff. Well, I think that's, we only had room for about 2 questions today. So good stuff. Always good talking with you, Frank.
Yeah, man.
So tomorrow, you're going to be out looking at Halloween. Frank's dressing up, I've heard.
I am not.
He is not dressing up. You're in good company. I am also not dressing up.
Tomorrow night, not dressing up, but Friday night playing at the Old Bull and Bush in Myrtle Beach.
That's in Myrtle Beach. Okay, good. Sounds good. You still taking it easy with trying to get some classic rock in and stuff. You're not going too far out.
Mostly classic rock.
Yeah, gotcha.
Between the 70s and 90s.
Gotcha. Well, everybody go check out Frank Dominic. He's going to be out playing Carolina Crush. And also check out Carolina Bays, our sponsors for today's show. And if you guys have questions, make sure to write us on our email address here. Check us out on social media. Just drop a question. We'd love to answer those for you. And we will basically sign out with that, right, Frank?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you next
week.
time on the Modern Homes Podcast with Rob and Frank.